board game editor for UKA, and I'm joined by Ross, and we're going
Hello.
to talk to you a bit about Cardfight Vanguard and some new products they've got on offer now.
Yes, so we've been playing these new packs that are based on the TV series, which has just come out, I think it's season 9, and we have 2 packs here, don't we? Would you like to tell us who they are?
Ooh, we've got Ren Suzugimori
Yep.
and Leon Soryu.
Yes, we have, and
We've been playing with.
Yep, they're both 2 trial decks that have come out that are based on characters from the series. Ren is based on Knights and Dragons. He's a Shadow Paladin, so it's kind of like a dark, aggressive deck. And that was what you were playing with. How did you find that deck to play with?
Quite aggressive, yeah. Forceful cards, really powerful.
Well, tell us about the G cards that you were using. Well, not G cards anymore, there's something else, aren't they?
They're not G cards.
They've changed it.
Yes. We now play with imaginary gift cards. So the Ren Suzugimori deck has the imaginary gift cards Force. You get 1 in the trial deck with a picture and 2 without. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, you now, when you play up to a level 3 card in your Vanguard, you get to take 1 of these imaginary gift cards that gets you extra power. So these ones are Force cards, and they allow you to put these onto a particular circle. So you can put them on your Vanguard circle or your one of your rear guard circles, and those the cards on those circles get 10,000 10,000 points plus on any attack. So it's only on your turn. So they don't have any special power when you're defending.
Okay. Well, I was playing with the Mr. Soryu pack, and that is all based on marine stuff. So I have like an attack sub, which is kind of cool.
Force.
Aqua Force, is it? Okay. I've got this rather cool mermaid lady with a trident. That's pretty sweet as well. And the way this deck seems to work is you can play your units in different turns. So, for example, one of my characters here, which is this chap, what's his name? Marine General, the Restless Tides, Algos. Now, if it's the second attack, when you attack with this guy, you get some extra power. And when you've got a level 3 Vanguard, he gets extra power if it's the 3rd turn. So, with the deck I was playing, it makes more sense to time your attacks with each card because they get essentially more powers. So, you don't always actually want to put 3 level 3s at the front, because if you go 1, 2, 3, then if you attack with the level 1 card, then you attack with level 2 and it's a second go, then you get extra power, and then you attack with your Vanguard at level 3, and then he gets an extra power because it's the 3rd battle. So that is more or less how you have to play this, so everything is quite logical. And it's a plus and a minus, because if you are playing that way, then you are kind of structured into attacking that way to get the maximum benefit from this particular deck. If your opponent knows that, then they pretty much know how you're going to play. So there's not a lot of surprises in this deck.
I definitely fell foul to those abilities when we played the...
Yes, in the first game. The second game you won, and that was because with this deck, the imaginary gift gives you an extra front rear guard. So you can attack up to effectively 5 times.
The yellow Axel cards.
Yep, so that gives you an extra space. So instead of having 3 front attacking cards, you can have up to 5. So that makes it pretty powerful. In fact, if you get 3 of these, it gets up to 6. So you can imagine that you can then just tidal wave attack with your marine decks.
Yeah, you just. I guess the key is you have to have enough cards to place on them, because they're just, in essence, extra circles on your play area.
Yeah, but they're extra powerful circles, because these give you an extra 10,000 as well. So you don't.
You have to have the cards to be able to put on them in order to make use of them.
Well, you just need to be able to draw, and there's quite a lot of draw 0 level cards in my particular deck, so that means you just draw more cards.
You shouldn't have more than 4. I think you were just lucky. The rules state you'd have 4 of the draw cards.
Well, actually, it doesn't say that you can. Oh no, that's the front card, isn't it? Some of these where you can only have a certain number. I don't know. I think it's only the heal cards that you're restricted to 4. I could be wrong.
16. You have to have 16 total, 4 of the 4 types.
Well, I don't know if you have to have 4 of the 4 types. You might decide to have more draw cards than you have criticals or something like that. So I don't think you're restricted that way. But let's not get into the rules that way.
Right.
I think it's only heal cards that you're restricted to 4. But somebody out there will tell me.
I'm sure they will.
Possibly forcefully, possibly with a brick.
Now, if there is a 3rd gift card that you can get, and it's the Protect card, so a green one. So this gives the same power as a Sentinel card, so you can use it to protect a particular unit in your deck for an entire go. So if you know you're going to have an onslaught of 6 attacks from Ross because he's using the Excel cards, then you can use that very usefully to protect, particularly your Vanguard card. I think you would use that on.
Yes,
but
of course you only take damage, don't you, with the Vanguard attack? So,
but each clan has one of these imaginary gift cards that works with that particular deck.
Yep.
So you don't intermingle them. You wouldn't have one of each. You just have several of one type.
Yes. So how do you rate this versus Vanguard G? Because the idea behind this is that it's simplified. Now, we were in Japan when this launched over there, and the idea behind it, I believe, is to get more people into the game, because with G there's a lot of very complex cards, and that doesn't help that I play with the Bermuda Triangle deck, which is like ridiculously overcomplicated, because it's a hand that is designed for you to swap cards about all over the place, so you kind of have to shuffle constantly. Whereas the decks we've been playing with here, I think, were a lot more simplified. They were very keenly focused on attack. I think both of them, yours more than mine in terms of just aggressive singular cards, but I think mine was built towards the structure.
Yeah. I'd say I definitely found it easier to understand. The use of imaginary gifts isn't that dissimilar from the G deck dynamic, but you're right, they've toned down the wording on the cards. It's not so complex. You know, there's still some really great powers in there, but yeah, a lot easier to understand to anyone who's new to the game. That was an 0800 number.
So that was Sky ringing me. That was Sky ringing me because I've left Sky in 2 different places because I've sold my flat, and now they're ringing me bloody constantly going, "Oh, can you come back to Sky, please?" No, I'm not coming back to Sky. Let this go out on YouTube. I'm not coming back to Sky. Not now, not ever. Stop ringing me.
I think that's too much. I think that's too much information.
Anyway, so we were saying that the decks are more direct in terms of the rules. It is a simpler game. I think the reason G gets more complex is when you have level 4 cards, because that's effectively what you're bringing out. It's just there's more scope for it to be more complicated. Whereas with these extra abilities, they are just enhancing cards you already have, as opposed to bringing in a whole new set of rules. And I think that's probably why it's a bit simpler. And I think the other thing is, while you do still have things like Soul Blast, where you're using the cards under your Vanguard to power up your attacks, and while you have Counter Blasts, where you're turning over the cards in your damage zone, it's still a lot more straightforward than some of the G card rules, which are just swapping cards everywhere. And I think, I don't know, I like all the cards that are in the G set, but I think this is a more enjoyable game for us because we don't play it as often and are not as well versed with the rules.
I'd agree with that. And these are actually the 3rd and 4th trial decks. So there's 4 trial decks out now for this new kind of concept.
Yes.
And you've got the booster boxes coming out as well. We've got an example of one of the booster boxes. This is the Q4 box. On the TV series, some of the characters get together and form teams and take it on each other as teams. So Q4 is one of the teams, and you find cards in this box to boost any of the decks of the people in that team. These are not clans that boost these 2 particular decks. There's more booster boxes coming out over the next couple of months that will provide the cards to boost this. I think the Leon ones are...
I think they might be the A4s, I can't remember.
There's one called something like Champions of Asia, and Leon, I think, is one of those. Again, someone will correct us in the comments.
Fair enough. But I mean, these are the booster decks. Same as all your booster decks. You get your rare cards, your triple rares, and all that kind of thing. So we have a box of these, but we can't use them with these, which is slightly frustrating. But they are here, which is nice. So so that's the game.
Oh, one more thing on the booster box is when you get a booster box, you get 1 each of the three imaginary gift cards. So depending on what deck you're adding to, you'll always get an imaginary gift card in your booster.
So yes, so that really is the game. It is simpler. It is, I think, a bit more direct. I can understand why they brought this out, because G for me became a bit of a turn off when it got so complex that it wasn't fun anymore, because I spent more time looking at rules than I did actually playing the game. This, I think, brings it back to the roots of the original Vanguard, which we played. You know, we've been long-term Vanguarders now, haven't we? Thanks to Gina over at Stevium, sending us these boxes out to look at. But I have to admit, I have gone out and bought my own packets. It's not just all freebies. I have bought quite a few Mermaid deck boosters, Bermuda Triangle, and a couple of the others. I also picked up all the Freaky Circus ones, only because I like the artwork, not because I play as that clan. So yeah, I think they're nice. And one of the things I always liked about Vanguard cards is that the artwork is made for the cards. So you play something like Vice Schwartz, which is a fun game, but all the card pictures are just sort of screenshots from the series. It doesn't look as premium. The cards don't feel as nice. I think with Vanguard, you are getting a card game meant to be a card game.
Yeah. And there's decks there for everyone. So
yeah.
You play with a particular clan, and that clan, like you say, is based on something that might interest you. So mermaids or freaky surface folk. But it is possible, the game is designed so that you can win with any clan that you play with. So it's not a case of, to win you've got to have a forceful deck like the Ren Suzugomori one. You can win with a defensive deck as well. So it's extremely clever. So you can buy the deck which appeals to you for the artwork. It doesn't have to, have appeal for the kind of playing style. Another
tip is if you buy the manga, some of those come with cards in the back. That you can't get other ways. So if there is a particular card that you're interested in, check the manga and see if they have it with that, because it's a nice way to get powerful or story-oriented cards that are featured in the anime. Not that I've watched much, but I've seen the whole of the first series and I think half the second. It's on to season 9 now. I'm not going to catch up. So it's quite fun.
If these appeal to you, we have got a competition live at the moment. This will be closing at the end of October, but you can win 2 sets of these, so one of each, so you and a friend can get going on learning the game if you're lucky enough to win that competition.
Absolutely. So check out the game, check out the competition, and tell us how you find playing Vanguard in the comments, and I will find our friend Sophie and get some tips from her.
I have written an article on the site as well to give you details on how to play, and a review article as well on these products, so take a look at those if you are interested.
Yes, thanks.